Right, well, thank you very much for all your very exciting and quite strange questions. I'm now going to go at them as fast as I can and see how many I can answer in the given time. So here we go. Rapier or salt bomb? For me, the rapier, because it's cool and debonair and dashing, just like me. Next one. Snootiest agency, Fitz agency or Rockwell agency? Fitz is definitely snootier. It's the kind of posh kids agency. Rockwell is slightly up and coming, a bit brasher. Fitz is the one where they have all the old school ties and the smart jackets. So yeah, that's definitely the snootiest. Biscuits or donuts? Well, I think it's got to be biscuits really. Donuts are good, but they're a bit messy and I'll get them down my front. Who'd be the winner of a sarcastic battle to the death, Bartimaeus or George? George would give it a good go, but fundamentally you can't out sarcasm a 5,000-year-old genie. So Bartimaeus would undoubtedly wipe the floor with George, I think. Best talent, sight, listening or touch? Well, if I had to have one, I suppose I'd go for sight. I think seeing ghosts is pretty fine. Listening is actually more dangerous. Lucy, I think, is more vulnerable than Lockwood because of that particular talent. I go for sight. Possible relationship. Blimey, look at that. That's extraordinary. I think, well, all these are possible, but I'm not going to say. Kitty or Lucy? Oh, well, that's tough. No, I can't make a choice. They're both very fine, brave, heroic young heroines, and I can't choose between them. Cheese or meat? Depends on my mood. I'll go for cheese today, thank you. Write alone or in common? Well, I always write alone. I do know people who team up and write books together, which I think is quite remarkable. I don't know how they do it. I personally need to be on my own in a quiet room, just in my own little world. Tea or coffee? Has to be tea, 9 times out of 10. Sassiest character, the Whispering Skull or the Annoying Kid? The Annoying Kid, he's probably got his moments, but the Whispering Skull, I think, is probably a bit sassier. What on earth is this question? Would I rather dance like a magical elf to folk music or not dance like a magical elf to folk music? I think I would dance, actually. If no one was looking, I'd definitely jiggle around a bit in an embarrassing kind of way. Best protection, running water or iron chains? I'll go for chains every time. Running water might run out or run low. Iron chains you can carry with you. Preferred sensation, miasma or a malaise? They're both pretty horrible actually. One of them's kind of like a bad taste, one of them's just being depressed. I think I'll go for a bad taste because it might be quicker. Ghost touch or writer's block? What a great question. I think I'll say writer's block because you can do things about that. You can go for a walk or just write something different or go and watch TV or something, whereas a ghost touch kills you. Notepads or laptops? Notepad for me. Pen and paper I kind of prefer. I find I'm more creative with that. The Screaming Staircase or the Whispering Skull? Oh, that's a good one. I'd say the Whispering Skull because the world expands and you meet more characters and you see more places. Shorts or trousers? With my legs, trousers. Wraith or Dark Spectre? Well, it depends. You mean like one, am I going to meet it? Which would I rather meet? I guess a Wraith because it's more like a classic ghost. The Dark Spectre is like a big cloud with lots of tendrils coming towards you, which is a bit harder to deal with in a way. Packed lunch or school dinner? I had some pretty bad school dinners. I'm going to say packed lunch. Would I rather encounter Quill Kipps or a cluster of wraiths? Oh, Quill Kipps. I think he's very annoying, but he's actually not quite as bad as some people think. So I know I'd hang around with Kipps perhaps. Where would I write? At home or in a coffee shop? I always write at home. I personally need to have a bit of peace and quiet. Sometimes when I'm writing notes and thinking about the structure of my books, I will go out to a restaurant or a coffee shop and I like the noise around me. But when I'm actually writing the book, I need to be on my own. Night watch or agency? Well, to be honest, there's no contest. If you're an agent, you get paid more and you've got better kit. If you're in the night watch, you're generally not so well thought of. A lot of the kids in the night watch are quite poor and they get killed by ghosts. Not great, really. Where do I go on holiday? The UK or abroad? I go to both. When the weather's good, the UK is absolutely fantastic. The beaches in the UK are beautiful, and I like the Lake District. But I do love going abroad as well. So, a bit of a draw there. Giant hands or giant feet? Well, I have got giant feet actually, so I'll have to go with that. The problem or no problem? Well, the problem I'll go for, because that means that we've got a story. I was listening to somebody talking about creative writing the other day, and they said all stories have to have a problem. In my case, the problem is the ghosts. Without that, there wouldn't be a series. Reading or writing? That's a really tricky one. I've now realised that writing is actually like an extension of reading. You don't write unless you've already been reading. So reading has to come first, I guess. That's probably the most important one. But for me, for a lot of people, when you read, you then want to go and write your own story. So the two are really closely connected. Other light or death glow? I suppose other light can be quite beautiful, but it's kind of eerie. A death glow is, maybe a death glow. I think a death glow it's not actually connected to a ghost, so specifically. So a death glow is not going to hurt you, whereas other light is always connected to some kind of nasty spirit. Would I like to write in my pajamas or in a suit? Well, pajamas would probably be a little bit drafty. I think pajamas would be more comfortable, but I wouldn't want anyone to see me do that. It'd be a bit unpleasant, really, in many ways. Do I like to meet deadlines, or do I give the "sorry, my dog ate my manuscript" excuse? Well, you have to ask my editor that. I'm quite good. I tend to meet my deadlines just about. Only miss them by about a month or so. Would I crave sweet or savoury? Savoury for me. Which is scarier, ghosts or vampires? Ghosts are more scary. Vampires are just generally blokes with sort of big muscles and pointy teeth posing around, and ghosts are inevitably much more formidable, and they'd give vampires a good thrashing. School days or weekends? It's got to be weekend, doesn't it? Although Friday evening is actually the nicest time of the week because you've got the whole weekend. So does that count as a school day? I don't know. Films or books? Books have to be up there ahead of films. Although sometimes when I've been writing all day, the last thing I want to do is read a book. So then I want to go and watch a movie. So I love films too, but books are the one for me. And that's the end.